The greatest changes are not always visible. They are hidden, sometimes in our phones, in our relationship, in our cravings, in our mindset, and sometimes by spirit. Addiction doesn't scream, it whispers until it owns you. But what if I told you that freedom is not coming outside of you? The freedom you need is already within you. Hello everyone, my name is Ediya Francis Kwame and welcome to Ediya Pill. As we dive into the 7 holistic aspects of living, today we are going to dive deep into addiction and how to break free from it. So kindly stay tuned and undistracted. Let's be honest. Addiction is not always about alcohol or drugs. It is also in the endless social media scrollings, food addiction, sex, porn and masturbation addiction, shopping addiction, gambling addiction, even unhealthy relationships. You might say, it is not anything serious. But what if I told you that the silent habit that you excuse today will bankrupt you of your future, your purpose, your relationship, and your finances? Statistics shows that 70% of young adults battle with addiction and they have completely normalized it. And here is the hidden danger. Every addiction costs you something. Yes, either money, either time, either focus, either energy, either relationship, either your health, without you even noticing it. But the most tragic cost of addiction is your identity. Yes, it erodes you of your identity and you forget who you truly are. You stop showing up for your dreams, for your calling, and to your creator. This is why negative addictions hijack you. First of all, let's look at how the brain really works, right? Addiction is a simple hijacked reward system. So you feel pain, you crave for relief, and then you engage in the addiction, and you feel temporal pleasure, and then you feel guilty again, and then the pain comes again, and then you crave for it again. This is a vicious loop. And the more you feed your addiction, the stronger the loop becomes. It steals your willpower, distorts your purpose, making you live below your potential. What is the stake if you stay stuck in your addiction? If you keep excusing the small addiction today, you will wake up 10 years from now bitter, broke and disconnected. But if you take ownership today, 10 years from now, you will be telling others your freedom story. The choice is yours. Let's now talk about the spirit of addiction. Let me be real with you today, right? Some addictions are not just bad habits, no. Some are spiritual strongholds designed to separate you from your creator, designed to separate you from your purpose, designed to blind you from your identity, and to rob you of your destiny. It is a subtle war of your soul, and if you keep on fighting it from the surface level, you will keep losing. To break free, you must confront the spirit behind the addiction. Let's now dive into the real roots why addiction is a spiritual battle first. Addiction thrives on secrecy, shame, and self-deception. It is not just about behavior problem. No, it is a spiritual and identity crisis. And you cannot willpower your way out of spiritual battles. You fight them with truth. You fight them with community. And you fight them with purpose of the knowledge you have. You must expose the root of addiction. Addiction often enters through pain and trauma, loneliness and isolation, fear and unhealed wounds. And guess what? This opens door to allow unhealthy spirit to build strongholds in your soul, in your mindset, and sometimes in your personal living. That is why you mostly feel you cannot stop and you have nothing to do about it. It is not just in your body, it is in your spirit. Here is the danger. If you don't confront that addiction, it will steal you of your identity. It will blind you of your Creator's plan, and it will keep you from making the impact you were born to make. Addiction convinces you to settle for temporary pleasure over eternal purposes. But if you break free, you don't just gain freedom. You gain clarity, you gain energy, you gain financial steward, and most importantly, a life that serves humanity and glorifies your Creator. Now, deep calls to deep. We are going very deep now. The spirit of addiction provides for the addicted. Yes. Have you ever wondered why a drunkard can leave home without money and get back home still drunk? Why does this happen? Because the spirit of addiction provides for the addicted. So he can enter a beer parlor and without money, and he will be favored because his addiction took him to his temple. And when you are addicted to your God and you enter his temple, he will favor you. He will make a way for you. In the same way, a weed smoker would also go out without money, have nothing on him, but he will enter his temple and get favored. He will get some peace to smoke or do whatever he likes with, because the spirit of his addiction took him to his temple. And when your addiction takes you to your temple, your God will make a way for you. Your God will favor you. And at the end of the day, he will get something to smoke. Have you wondered why a drug addict can enter a city, let's say Accra, Berlin, London, Lagos today, while you have stayed in that city for over 30 years, over 20 years? There are some joints you will not know, but that person steps into that city and within 24 hours, he will get to know all the cocaine joints, all the weed joints, all the marijuana joints, because the spirit of addiction took him to his temple. Yes, you see, the spirit can tell him, ask this guy, can I get this? Then the person will lead him, and by the end of the day, he will get to the temple. It is a spirit. Deep calls to deep. When you are addicted to sex, no girl or boy says no to you. Nobody breaks the heart of a sex addict. No. Anybody they confront falls for them. And sometimes they even wonder, how did I fall for this guy? I know married men, married women who fall for certain sex addicts and they end up regretting, how did I fall for this guy? Because the spirit of addiction provides for the addicted. Sometimes a boy or a girl that you are interested in, you want to approach her, you hear that, this one has done this with her, this one has done this with him. You would approach and he will say no to you. Meanwhile, you thought that person was cheap or something. But you particular, he will not consent to you because that spirit is not in you. Deep calls to deep. Have you wondered why a husband and a wife can live in a room where nobody knows where each other keeps their money, but an armed robber, a thief, can enter that room one day and with utmost precision go directly to where they keep their belongings, their jewelry, their money, and take that money? Because the spirit of addiction provides for the addicted. I remember a time ago in the university back in Ghana, a friend of mine just approached me. We were all in the engineering department and the same spiritual union. So he approached me. He said, Francis, that guy is a gay. I said, how did you know that he's a gay? He says, because of the dress he's wearing, because of how he's walking. I said, but you too, is there anything okay? He says, he was giving me gay lectures. I said, really? Maybe I thought God was giving him a grace to know gay people and also to maybe deliver them. But final year, we heard that guy was molesting other guys and now the school authorities are taking sanctions on him. Then I remembered, That is why the guy sometimes told me that, because if you are not a gay, how would you know that someone, because spirits of addiction provides for the addicted. Deep calls to deep. Now let's break down the 7 steps to break free from spirits of addiction to live a purpose-driven life. Here are Ediya's tactical recommendation for breaking free from addiction. The first step is to expose the spirit behind your addiction. You have to name the spirit, right? You have to confess it first to yourself and to someone you truly trust. You need to understand that it is not being weak. No, it is about the enemy wanting to derail you from your future, derail you from your purpose, and derail you from your creator. The second step is to confront it with supernatural and spiritual power, not just willpower. You need to pray daily in strength. You need to use the scriptures as weapons, and you need to seek the Holy Spirit to help you by helping you to renew your mind and your strength. Next step is to replace the old with purpose-driven habits. Yet you start the morning with a purpose routine, right? You need to pray, you need to read, you need to reflect, and sometimes you need to meditate. You serve someone every day. Nothing breaks addiction like a selfless act. Yes, you need to build skills that align with your purpose. The fourth step is to build your destiny with a community. You find a support group, a church group, a mentor, a social group, or a prayer group that can help you, because you cannot fight it alone. Addiction dies in community because iron sharpens iron. The fifth step is to focus on your why over your willpower. Write down your life mission. Have a life plan. Have a purpose for your life. Who are you called to impact? Keep your vision visible every day to you, so that you know that your addiction cannot derail you from getting that vision into fruition. The sixth step here is progress over perfection, right? You don't aim for overnight victory. Small wins daily, confident, and you show up when you fail. Sometimes you can stop it right away, because when you are a smoker, you don't say, I'm now reducing it from 10 sticks to 5 sticks to 2 sticks. You can stop it right away. It is a mindset. You don't need to you stop it right away. It's not good for you. That is it. The seventh step is to live to serve humanity and glorify your creator. Your story of overcoming will set others also free. You need to turn your pain into a purpose, and you use your life as a message, not as a warning. Imagine this: you are now free from your addiction. You wake up knowing your life is serving something bigger than you. You look back and you realize that addiction no longer owns you. You now have your own life in your hands. You now have your finances, your energy, and your destiny in place. Isn't this the life you truly desire? You need to live a life of significance. You need to live a life of purpose. You need to live a life of impact. Don't be derailed by your addiction. We were created for a higher purpose, not just to be addicted to profane or mundane things. No! Find a higher meaning and significance for your life. You need to have a better why, and addiction cannot stop you from letting your vision and your mission come into existence. When you are addicted to your God, He makes a way for you wherever you find yourself in His will. You can follow God sincerely and miss certain opportunities, but God can revisit your yesterday, bring what you missed in your yesterday, bring it to your today or tomorrow, because God does not live in time. God lives in eternity, and He is not limited by time. There is one thing I know for sure, that it is impossible for God to lie, and it is impossible for God to fail. There are not so many faithful people in this world, and God cannot afford to lose us. Yes, never lose hope. No, you need to continue building your hope in God. Continue building your faith. It is possible, but you need to stop your addiction today. I know a friend who was flying to Australia, and when the driver was taking him to the airport, he slept off in the car. Waked up and noticed the flight has taken off. Meanwhile, his God was saving him from a flight accident. I'm not saying that those who entered the flight were sinners or something, no, but he was being delivered from it. A friend of mine shared with me his story. Back in Ghana, we used to drive in trotro, so it was the last seat he was trying to enter, and someone shoved him and entered the car. He said, well, no problem. So the person sat down. He waited for about the next 7 minutes and got a trotro and then took the car. By 30 minutes, when he went, the car he was to take had been involved in an accident. And the same place where he was about to sit, that was where the person who shoved him sat. So imagine, if he was not connected to his God, maybe he might have indulged in an accident. I know people whose instinct tells them, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this business. In fact, I have a friend, Dennis. He was about to partake in a certain deal, right? An investment deal. He transferred the money and the bank transferred the money back to him. He was very angry. I want to make this. But then, that was his opportunity. The money was given back to him. Later on, he got to know that that was a scam. People were about to dupe him, but his God made a way for him. His God favored him, and his money was returned to him. So when you hold on to your God, hold him very well, because there is God. Don't let anybody lie to you. Don't let anybody lie to you. We serve a living God. Yes, there is God. Some of us, we are living testimonies that God is the lifter of men, because we know where we started from and we know where God is taking us. Yes, we are not where we want to be, but God is making a way where there is no way. So keep your hopes and dreams alive. It is all what you have. Don't be addicted to mundane things and destroy your life and destiny. No, seek higher meaning more than just being addicted and wasting your life. As a young guy, as a young girl, as a young lady, as a young woman, don't waste your life off. No, there is something more precious in life. You need to live a fulfilled life, and that is intentional and conscious. Have a higher meaning into your life, and don't be destroyed by addiction and lose your soul. No, life is a baton. Yes, if you fail to become, you will end up hindering those whose success depends on your becoming. Yes, God will make a way for them also, but it would have been easier or better for you to have become, so that it will grant them access to their becoming successfully without wasting more time. That is how life is. So see your becoming as the success of others. And the greatest failure in life is allowing your dependents to start from where you also started. No, life is a baton. They need to build on where you have achieved. So please, you cannot afford to fail generations or your dependents. If this video spoke to your heart, here is what I want you to do. Drop in the comments what addiction you are ready to expose and confront it from today. You need to join a faith-based community. Don't fight addiction alone. Subscribe to Ediya Pill for more spirit-led, life-transforming insights. And remember, your freedom is not just for you. It is for the people who are waiting for your story to also change. It is for the people who you have been called to serve also. Subscribe for more real-world, purpose-driven strategies. And remember, I am Ediya Francis Kwame, and this is Ediya Pill, where we don't just grow, no, we transform and live fulfilled. Embrace the holistic journey and let's build a life that our future self will be thankful and proud of. Ediya Pill, your dosage to holistic living. Thank you very much for watching and see you in our next episode. God bless you. Bye.